Hello, my name's Eliza. Some call me Za, and the Daily Run with Za is where I share tips, advice, and stories about my 18-year run streak. I'm coming up on 19 years here in September, so I haven't missed a single day of running since September 2002. If you want to learn more, you can go to the Run Streak Association, runeveryday.com, learn a little bit more about what a run streak is. And today I am answering the question of how I run while traveling. So it's possible to run while traveling. Just, the first thing is really plan ahead. So if you're looking at your flight schedule and, you leave at 7 a.m., you arrive at 3 p.m., but there's still a possibility you have a long layover, things could get delayed. My first tip is always run before your plane leaves. Maybe I've had days before where it's a direct flight. I leave at 8 in the morning. I get there at 10 a.m. And, I definitely know I have the whole day to get in my run. So you could risk it. There's a few times where my flight has been delayed and, I thought, the flight leaves at 10. I get there at 3. I'm like, oh, I could do an evening run. However, it's delayed or canceled. There's been a few times, when I was going to Florida, I didn't get there to 10:30 p.m. That's kind of like definitely risking it. So that's my first piece of advice. Always try to get in your run before your flight leaves. Then you just have the whole rest of the day. If you get delayed or canceled, you'll be stressed about that, but you won't be stressed about the fact that you didn't get in your run already. Second, be prepared to look like an idiot. So for example, if you're going on an international flight, so I had to fly from the US to India, and I've done this 5 times from about 2011 to 2016. I traveled to India 5 times. The first time I went there, I was very nervous because I knew that I had to get in my run in the airport. Otherwise I'd miss a day. So for example, if my flight left Tuesday, I wouldn't get to India until Thursday because of that time change. And so Wednesday, Wednesday's just kind of in limbo. So Wednesday I spend in the airport. So, my first flight there, I remember, so this was October 2011, and my flight left from, New York, stopped in London. I think I stopped in Doha, Qatar, and then India. So once I got to London, I remember the plane landed. I got out my running shoes from my backpack, took off my shoes, put on my running shoes the way I tie them every time, like I'm lacing up for a run. Said a prayer because I'm like, okay, I've never done this before. I've never ran in an airport. Is somebody going to stop me? Where's the best place to run? I really did not know what to expect, which is fine. When you're traveling, you don't know what terminal you're going to end up in. You don't know what the situation's going to be. What if you're stuck on the plane forever? So some anxiety. I do have a commitment to this run streak, and I wanted to get in this run. I had to get it in at the airport. So we got off, we had to get on a bus. I'm like, okay, maybe I could run around outside. Of course they're gonna stop me and think I'm some crazy person running around. And then we got to this other terminal, which is kind of this off terminal. So once we got there, I kind of looked around, and it was just basically our flight that got off and then went into customs. So I'm like, okay, I could use this terminal as a way just to run around. So it was kind of just this one long, that walking escalator and 2 sides to walk, on the cement basically. So what I did is I just ran up and down the side of it. And I think if I remember, it was probably only 30 seconds up, 30 seconds down, ran up and down. And once again, that continuous mile, you can't stop, and continually going forward. If I do a turn, I can't stop and turn, because then it's not a continuous run. So when I turn, I run around like this. So it's a full continuous running. It's not any sort of stopping. So I did that. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to get in 10 minutes because this is awkward. And now another flight got off, and now people are watching me run. And, it's a very awkward experience. But, in my mind, I'm telling myself, okay, I'm never going to see these people again. I'm just running in the middle of a foreign country, basically. Who knows where these people are from? I'm getting in my run and I'm going to be okay with it. So I ended up running a 5K. I ran over 3 miles in the London airport. At one point, this worker came up to me and he ran with me. He's like, "Oh, getting it in. That's great." You know, I didn't go into the whole run streak thing, but I'm like, "Yeah, I have the time. Might as well get in a run." So yeah, and after I was done, I'm like, okay, I think 5K is enough. And then I didn't realize how much I was sweating. I was literally drenched in sweat. So that brings me to my second point. Always pack a spare change of clothes, because then, you know, and also I had my backpack on, which was kind of annoying to run with, but it's also hard to ask somebody to hold your bag, which I have another story about that. Maybe I'll save that for another video of when I ran in the Paris airport. I had my backpack on, I was drenched in sweat, and so I had to walk up to customs, you know, to get into my gate. And yeah, they gave me this look like, why are you drenched in sweat? What have you been doing? And for some reason, they never asked me. Maybe they just thought I was super nervous and I was just like sweating profusely. But I just kind of nervously went through customs. I found like one of those shops in the airport and I bought a new shirt. Like I had my sports bra on. It would be great if I would have planned ahead of time. I just didn't realize how much I was sweating. So I bought like a new shirt, which was like probably $70 because it's so expensive in airports. I still have it today. And I think about that, like, ugh, such a waste. So I changed, but still I kind of like, you know, just felt like sweaty and gross, and especially after being on a plane. So, you know, ideally pack like some wipes, you know, just to try to like feel a little cleaner. But, you know, for the most part, it's just like you got to make use of the situation you're in. You know, I was super nervous and kind of anxious, like, this is so weird to be running through an airport right now, but, you know, I did it for the streak. And since then, I've traveled 4 other times to India and have ran in the airport. Even coming back to the US, I have also ran in the airport, just because it's like, it's not like it's fun, but it's a way to kind of use your time, get moving, get the blood flowing. So like I said, I'll make another video about running in the Paris airport. Yeah, to add to that London airport, I think it was my second trip to India. I forget, or maybe it was actually my third trip in 2013. We stopped in London again. And I'm like, oh yeah, I've done this before. This is great. Lace up my shoes, start running. And then this officer tried stopping me from running. You gotta stop running. I'm like, I'm not doing anything wrong. So luckily it was after maybe like 10 minutes, or not even a mile yet, maybe 6 minutes of running or something. And she's trying to tell me to stop. And I just have to keep running. I'm like, I'm sorry. I just really can't stop. This is just, then I'm gonna have to go somewhere else and try the run again. I'm like so close to being done. So it's like you're not doing anything wrong. Ideally find a quiet terminal instead of like one of those busy like main terminals, and just kind of run up and down. Remember not to stop and turn, kind of make like longer turns. You can literally run anywhere. I've even thought about trying to run in the bathroom. Not gonna work, people coming in and out. So if you just try to find something with less people, less crowded, and just you do run the risk of somebody trying to tell you to stop running, but you just got to keep going. You can share this video with them and say, okay, this daily run was told me like, just don't stop, try to get in your mile. So it is possible. Let me know in the comments below if you've ever ran in the airport, or if you've ever seen anybody run in the airport, because maybe that crazy person was me. You think you see someone running, you're like, oh, they're probably catching a flight. But then you see them come back 12 times and you're like, maybe they forgot something. Oh, maybe they're going back to their flight. Maybe they've had a different gate. But then they just keep going back and forth. And it's like, this is strange. So it is possible to run in an airport. And, you got to be creative and get in your run somehow, and not let the run stop you from experiencing traveling or experiencing life. It would be so easy just to sit at home, get in your run, and come back. So I'm kind of, proud of myself for taking that risk of flying abroad and having to run in the airport. But, like I said, it's possible. And Like I said, let me know in the comments if you've ever ran in the airport or seen anybody. And please like this video, and don't forget to subscribe. Let me know if you have any other questions, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.